Hi, I'm Christine Cushing, and welcome to another helping of my favorite foods. Today, I'm going to show you the best way to roast a turkey to get that super juicy inside, nice and deep and dark, crispy outside. It's going to be dry brined without all the fuss. Let's get going. To start the whole dry brining process, you have to leave at least 24 hours. So this is the day before I want to roast my turkey. First of all, what is dry brining? Dry brining is essentially salting. Once I started to develop this method, I lost my mind and everybody said, this is the best turkey you've ever made. So I'm sharing it with you. I want to take all of the neck and just a little package of all the goodies in here. The giblets, they are known as. That's going to add a lot of flavor. I'm going to put it back in my roasting pan. Let's talk salt. Kosher salt for me is really the only way to go when you're talking dry brining. Kosher salt is a mined salt, so it's not sea salt. And the way it's cut is super kind of flakes. It looks like little triangles almost, and it's light and fluffy. And it sticks to the meat and it actually draws out moisture, and that's key. So for me, you got to go kosher. And the proportions here are about a half teaspoon per pound of turkey. And I mix in a little bit of pepper. What I want to do is start to salt it, but I'm going to divide this amount. It's important to divide the salt evenly when sprinkling the bird. Roughly a quarter of it in the legs and wings, a quarter in the cavity, and about half over the breast meat, since that's where most of the meat is. Let's hit the back, underside too. Now, why do I do this salting from super high up? Because essentially you're not going to get clumps of salt this way. It's going to kind of fall and just envelop it lightly. Now at this point, I want to put it into the fridge. You see how I have a rack here on top of a baking sheet where it's going to trap and hold any of the juices that fall down. Hand washing, very important. Now, the longer you dry brine this, for me, 24 hours is my optimal. The longer you dry brine it, the crisper the skin is going to get, and it's going to have a totally different texture, and it will be saltier. The last thing I have to do before I put this in the fridge is just tuck the wings under, because the thing about the dry brining is the meat is going to tighten up, and then you won't be able to move it around. However you want it now, you got to do it now, not when it comes out of the brining process. So the legs are tucked in, wings are tucked in, 24 hours in the fridge, brining is gonna be up, and then it's going in the oven. "24 hours later, look how much the skin has changed. You see that? It's all tight now, and you can see it's almost changed opacity, that you feel that it's clinging to the flesh there. Look at that. That's what the dry brining does. It's nuts. So first the moisture comes out of the meat and then it goes back in. It's a very bizarre process. So look what I've done here. I like to put the veggies in the bottom because that's going to help flavor my later gravy. You don't have to do that. Now it goes without saying, you put away the salt now. It's salted. The one other very important thing about dry brining a turkey is it's not going to render all those juices because it makes the bird hold on to the juice. So you're not going to get all those pan drippings. So what I like to do is add some moisture now, and that's going to create a little bit of gravy. This is sherry. We're going to go Spanish with this bird. Spanish sherry with roast turkey. Whoa, already it's amazing. Okay, so now what am I going to do? Now, the skin is primed. I've got all my veggies in the bottom. What I'm going to start doing is just put a little bit of flavor inside the cavity. So a few whole cloves of garlic are just going to go in with these veggies. And I got these beautiful fresh herbs from my garden, any kind of a woody herb. You got rosemary, throw it in. Thyme, throw it in. Sage, throw it in. And I'm just putting them in like that, whole, in the cavity. Now, because the skin is firm like this and it's dry, anything I put now is not going to stick on. So my little secret is just a drizzle of olive oil. Last couple of things to go on top. I'm going to really douse it with lots of freshly chopped herbs. Cook's choice. I'm going with lemon, thyme, sage, rosemary, I said I was going to go Spanish, right? So check out what I'm doing here. This is my little secret. I'm going in with some smoked paprika. So this is smoked but not hot paprika. It's going to give it that crimson color that's really, really amazing. And I'm also going to introduce a little bit of orange or clementine. The grated zest of 2 mandarins, clementines, oranges is going to add something really beautiful, and it's going to go really well with the sherry. So this is the first time I brought my bay leaf tree inside. Let's see if she's going to survive the winter. I'm going to throw a couple of these also in the cavity. So now herbs and clementine or orange zest sprinkling on top. Last thing I'm going to do in the pan for a little extra flavor, remember the neck and all the little goodies, those are going to go in, and that's going to give my gravy huge flavor. If you were here smelling this, you would be applauding right now, because that's what my brain is doing. I'm applauding. It smells so good. Again, high up so that you don't get big clumps of it. Turkey's ready to go into the oven. 325 is my temperature. Fan is on. This is a 14-pound bird, about 15 minutes a pound. Probe is in, thickest part of the thigh. 170 degrees is my internal temperature I want. My oven is on. I'm estimating 3 hours, but remember, that is an estimate. So you want to keep track of your temperature. As soon as it hits that, pull it out. No basting, no opening the door. That's not going to do anything. It doesn't fit. Huh? That's like the story of my life. Here's the one thing you need to check out. Forget about hosting your own show, but you want to make sure that the racks in your oven are arranged, because this bird is big. So this doesn't fit in. I'm going to get rid of this baby. Yeah. Once the bird reaches an internal temp of 170 degrees Fahrenheit, I let it rest for 45 minutes to an hour to redistribute the juices. To present it on large wooden cutting boards with some colorful vegetables and herbs until I'm ready to carve. Look at the turkey. How great does that look? I promised you crispy, golden, deep skin. Look at that. And now it's about what is it like on the inside. We want that juiciness. So I'm bringing out the power tools. All right, just let's leave that aside. I want to show you how I like to carve the turkey. First thing I'm going to do is take off the leg. Now, so just like a chicken, I'm going to follow along the center line here, which is the breastbone. Do you hear that crispiness? There we have the whole turkey breast. Check that out. Okay, look at that. That is a beautiful piece of turkey. Look at that. Now, last thing, of course, before I serve it is, look at that. Come on. Just to give it a little gravy. You cannot carve a turkey without making a bit of a mess. But man, does this smell good. What did I promise you? Crispy outer skin, beautifully juicy inside. Look at that. Mmm. This is going to be a major hit at any time that you want to roast a turkey. You want to try this recipe. Thank you for joining me on another helping of my favorite foods. Be sure to subscribe for more awesome recipes and videos. See ya.